All right, here we are. It's the Fans First Football Show, the no football edition, unless you want to count the Pro Bowl, but we are not. In fact, you know what? Let's talk about the Pro Bowl. But first, let's say our names here. My name is Brian Anthony Davis from the Fans First Sports Network, from the Steel Curtain Network, covering the Pittsburgh Steelers, also the Las Vegas Raiders Insider Podcast, the Jacksonville Jaguars Insider Podcast, the Los Angeles Rams Insider Podcast as well. We have Nick Hogan from Foxborough Frenzy on the Fans First Sports Network. Hogan, how are you?
I will be better when next season kicks off and I can watch my team play again. But until then, I am doing okay, I guess.
All right, I want to talk to you about this real quick before we bring in the next fella. All right. He's here complaining there's no football today, but his team gets to play next week. His team played last week. Broad Street LinkedIn's Aiden Reed, who is already ready to win and punch out horses, climb greased poles, and storm City Hall if his team wins. I hope there's no flogging in prison, but we love him. Reed, what's up?
What's up, everybody? Yeah, if you didn't have another reason to cheer against the Patriots and their empire, I will be tuning in live in downtown Philly at City Hall if the Birds do win next week. So make sure you guys come and check that out if it does happen. If not, come check out my tiers in the sad apartment in Center City. So
did you just say Patriots or are you talking Chiefs? Was that a...
Did I say Patriots?
I
meant to say
Patriots. It's okay.
Evil Empire Chiefs.
It's understandable. Chiefs. The Patriots were the bane of everyone's existence for the last 20 plus years. I get it.
Wow, what a slip up. But
okay, gentlemen, what is your favorite Pro Bowl moment? None. Okay, let's move on.
I actually do have one if we really want to talk about it.
Actually, let's do that. I do want to do that.
So this is a blast from the past. If you guys remember Sean Taylor
for
Washington, the hit stick that I think was heard around the world from Pro Bowl, where I think the Bills punter, I can't remember his name.
Chris Mormon, I think.
Yeah, that might have been it. Was trying to do a fake punt or something.
Brian Mormon,
yes. And Sean Taylor absolutely obliterated him. And it was still to this day one of the greatest hits that had no repercussions on the sport of football whatsoever. But it was just amazing to watch that. That's probably my favorite Pro Bowl play ever.
Yeah. What did he say his first name was?
It was Brian Mormon.
Ryan Mormon. Okay.
Brian with a B, like
Brian,
you.
like me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There you go. All right. So I'm not used to wearing a hat, but you guys always have. You've got an Eagles hat. You've got a Pats hat. Jess Place, who's not here, always has a Broncos hat on. I'm wearing a Steelers lid. So, and it's cutting off circulation to my brain. So I want to apologize about that. Look, there's no football to talk about. We are going to have plenty to talk about next week, and we're going to get ready to talk about that game now. I'm excited a little bit more than I was last week. Eagles and Chiefs, I still think these are the finest teams in professional football. I think it's going to be a fantastic game. I wish they would go ahead and switch their jerseys, though, because we saw this jersey combination just a couple years ago. I'd rather see the jerseys switched. I'd rather see them wearing red, the Eagles wearing white, but I guess we can't have it all, can we, Reed?
No, we can't. And, I'm kind of in between there because our first Super Bowl ever, Super Bowl 52, we were wearing the midnight greens as well. I know we lost this uniform matchup 2 years ago, but, hey, I'm hoping to break the curse. And this will be the third time in a row that we've made the Super Bowl and we're wearing the midnight greens. We lost to 2004 to your Patriots, Hogan, with McNabb wearing the midnight greens. Then we beat the Patriots wearing the midnight greens. Lost to the Chiefs wearing the midnight greens. Hopefully we get revenge again in the midnight greens.
And you wore the cool Kelly green. Not really the Kelly green, but the green and gray back in 1980.
Against the Raiders.
And so you've never worn white.
No.
The Eagles, well, there's no virgins in Philly, so there's no reason to wear white again. All right, I'm gonna probably get canceled for that one, but it's Philly. With that being said, let's talk about this game. I want to ask Hogan, what's your excitement level for this game?
It's a little bit better than it was initially after the letdown of the championship weekend, where I was obviously not thrilled about the Chiefs punching their ticket there. Philly, honestly, you should have ill will against them after the last Super Bowl the Patriots lost, but honestly, it's such a different team now as opposed to what was back in 2018, 2019. So honestly, no ill will against really anybody in Eagles uniform right now, but. The excitement's there if Philly can pull off the upset that I think 99% of America wants at this point, just to see the Chiefs' evil empire finally fall for once. It would just be amazing to see at this point. Where I'm tired of Mahomes and Kelsey and Andy Reid. Let's shove them off. Let's get somebody else in there. That's all I want to see.
Okay, Reed. You know you've had problems with this guy in the past. I'm going to give you a trivia question here.
Oh, hit me.
And I don't know if this is correct because this just came off of the top of my head. But, I'm a Steeler guy. Hogan's a Patriot guy. There is a former Steeler and a former Patriot playing in this game. Who is he?
Former Steeler, former Patriots.
Hogan, you know this one.
Do you know it, Hogan?
Is he?
Can you
he's
give me
playing
offense or defense?
It is offense, and yeah, he haunted your dreams in a way.
Yeah, I know who it is, and I despise him with a burning passion.
Oh, we're not talking Philly roster, are we?
No,
No.
we're
Okay.
talking
I was
Kansas City.
thinking of all the Philly guys, and I'm like, I
Mhm.
can't think of anyone.
Who drew the penalty?
Juju Smith.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, man, that bastard.
Juju Smith-Schuster was drafted by the Steelers in 2017
Yes.
on the second round. Went to the Chiefs first, went to the Patriots, and now he's a Chief again. So Juju will be in this game. There you go. And Hogan despises him.
I mean, there was highway robbery, what we paid for him and what he produced. And the fact that we gave up Jacoby Myers, who I argue is still a top tier talent in the league. And we gave up Jacoby Myers, homegrown, undrafted kid that came up through the system for freaking Juju Smith-Schuster, who couldn't catch a cold in however long he played in New England. And then he's back with the Chiefs, and all of a sudden he knows how to play football again. Get out of here.
I love it. Gosh, we could talk about Juju all we want, but that's not the guy to really look at in this game. Hogan, who are the guys on the Chiefs? I mean, of course, we know Patrick Mahomes, but who's your X factor in this game on the Chiefs offense and on the defense?
So believe it or not, I actually have a couple of names on offense that I really want to dive into, and that is a couple of guys that weren't initially playing at the beginning of the year for the Kansas City Chiefs. And those guys are DeAndre Hopkins, who I think a lot of people forget that they traded for later into the season at this point. And then another guy, Hollywood Brown, who was injured, they weren't even sure if he was going to be able to play this year, was able to come in later on and produce in the last couple of playoff games that I've seen there. Those are two huge names, two number one wide receivers that have put up massive numbers earlier on in the NFL, in their NFL careers, arguably with Houston. DeAndre Hopkins at one point was considered probably, if not the best, one of the best receivers in the league. And Hollywood Brown did magical things with Baltimore, and it was kind of a shell shock to see him get traded to Arizona. And he still did really well with the Kyler Murray throwing him the ball there. So the fact that they both don't have a full season under their belt with Mahomes at this point, but yet they're still in the Super Bowl, just speaks volumes to what they're able to do for the team at this point with what Mahomes can do. And obviously they have the names of Travis Kelce, you see Kareem Hunt, and you see all these guys that the names there, where you really don't have the establishment with Hopkins or Brown at this point. But keep an eye on those two, especially in the Super Bowl, where, yeah, you got your Juju Smith-Schuster, who's a bum. We're not going to talk about him anymore. we got Travis Kelce, we got the big name guys, but keep an eye on Hopkins and Brown to make a big play that I don't think a lot of people are expecting.
Juju Smith-Schuster, you're going to Disney World next week at this time.
Please no. I don't want to see it again.
Please no.
All right, Reed, we're going to real quick, just trivia once again. A Patriot and a Steeler. We just talked about Hollywood Brown. Now, he was not a Patriot and a Steeler, but he has family ties to a former Patriot and a former Steeler. Who is that?
Would that be That's not Antonio Brown, are they?
AB, that's AB's
They're
cousin.
related? I did not even know
Yes,
that. That's
yes.
insane.
I think Marquise probably he stayed out of he has stayed out of bad press. So
Yes, he
so he's been a good citizen in the league. So but I had to bring that up too. So anytime we can talk about former Patriots, former Steelers, we can. And let's do it one more time. When your team lost in Super Bowl 39, the punter was a former Steeler and a former and a current Patriot. Who is that man?
That is too far back for me, Brian. I don't know the punter from the 80 year, but maybe Hogan knows.
Oh, it was from 1990 no 2004 season.
Oh, 2004?
Yeah.
He was a punter for the Patriots.
Yes.
Why am I pulling a blank here on this one?
Yeah, I don't know.
Josh Miller.
Josh Miller. Oh, I was thinking Ken Walter for some reason, but
I was thinking Donnie Jones, but that's a little too. That's a little
you
too
might want to
far
look
away.
that up, Hogan. Make sure I'm right, but I'm almost certain. I am almost certain that was the punter.
I was thinking in my head because I was
Patriots.
like, yeah, holding for Vinatieri in the Super Bowls was obviously a big deal back in those times. So that's why I was thinking. I know Ken Walters was there for a little while, but I'll double check just to make sure.
Yeah, we will definitely have to do that. So you just talked about the offense. Let's go ahead and talk about the Philadelphia offense. And we know about Jalen Hurts, Reed. We know about Saquon Barkley. I think you've been on an island if you don't know about what Saquon has done this year. And of course, AJ Brown. But give us some X factors on that Eagles offense, please.
It's tough where to start. You know, this offense is truly remarkable. We're so blessed to have this roster on offense. But it's funny because the two guys you didn't mention yet are two of the biggest guys I'm talking about in my preview on Broad Street LinkedIn, and that's Devontae Smith and that's Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert has been vital in this playoff run so far. He's led the team in receiving in 2 of the 3 playoff matchups so far. He's truly been phenomenal. And you see Kellen Moore getting him involved in the running game, which is, I think, genius, especially when all the focus on the running game is going to be on Saquon. But Devontae Smith against a Steve Spags defense, the Chiefs defensive coordinator, for those that you don't know, has been phenomenal. He's broken 100 yards twice out of the 3 times. The other one was 99 yards. And I expect Spags to dial up a lot of blitzes in this game. So I think quick releases to Goddard and Smitty in the slot are going to be vital in this Super Bowl win. Knock on wood.
All right. So let's talk about defense. And I'm going to go ahead and try to give a stab at this. Not really X factors, but the most important players, I think, on both sides of the this Super Bowl. On defense, I'm going to go ahead with the Kansas City Chiefs first, and I've got to say it's Nick Bolton. Hogan, would you agree with that?
Yeah, no, he's absolutely a huge factor in there. I thought you were going to take. I was waiting for the bait on that one with Chris Jones because everybody knows what Chris Jones brings to the table and what he's able to do. But Bolton's absolutely a factor there, and I mean, like Reed alluded to, Spagnuolo calls an absolute picture perfect defense every single time, and I think that's another huge reason why Kansas City's in the spot that they're in at this point. Because even when their offense isn't able to put up ridiculous numbers like you're accustomed to with Mahomes, Spags is going to have them hunkered down and being able to fight into a game that they could possibly win at the end.
So let's go over to the Eagles side. I mean, I think the most important guy on the Eagles defense right now, it's not Zach Bond, and this isn't a joke. Zach Bond is so crucial, and I'm not bringing him up. I think Jalen Carter is just if a defensive player could win MVP and a defensive lineman could do it, I think it's Jalen. I think what he's doing, I think he's on his way to a Hall of Fame career. And I think the all that crap that came out in draft week really screwed the league, except for one team, and that was the Philadelphia Eagles. But if I look at a guy that I think is a little more of an X factor here, I've got to go for the rookie. It's not Cooper DeJean. It's Quinion Mitchell. And this is a guy that I studied a lot because there was a lot of people thinking that the Steelers were going to be looking Quignon's way. And so I've got to say, he has really exceeded expectations from what a first round rookie usually. There's a lot of expectations for a first round rookie, but I think he exceeded them. So let's talk about Quignon here, Reed.
Yeah, I mean, Defensive Rookie of the Year nomination along with Quinion Mitchell. If I could rebut Hogan's take, those would be my exact answers. It would be, look, I understand that D-Hop, Worthy, and Hollywood Brown have been playing great, but they're going up against Darius Slay. They're going up against Quinion Mitchell. They're going up against Cooper DeJean. And this Philadelphia defense is not the 22 Philadelphia defense in numerous ways. Vic Fangio has the youngest defense in the NFL playing as the top defense in the NFL. And knock on wood, that's really why I normally I don't feel confident. Normally I'm very nervous, but I just am thinking back to 2022 and how the Chiefs, some would argue, have gotten worse from that time and how the Eagles have gotten better from that time. And the biggest thing is our defense, especially as you mentioned, Brian, our secondary with our corners going from a bottom 2 secondary in the NFL to top in the NFL. It's just, it speaks volumes to Vic Fangio. It speaks volumes to Howie Roseman in the draft. And this secondary is ready to play. And especially with the Chiefs' questionable tackles and the pressure that's been getting to Mahomes quick, I don't think these receivers are going to have enough time to get open against this star-loaded secondary. So that's why I'm feeling, I hate to say it, but I'm feeling pretty damn good about this game.
All right, Hogan, we're going to throw it back to you, and it's prediction time. But we're going to do 2 predictions here. One is going to be just what you feel in an even game. We're not talking referees, but in an even game where your gut says, and then go ahead and put realistically what you think is going to happen, and that could be officials.
Okay. All right. So if you want to play that game with me, I gotta go with my gut feeling on a neutral field with no BSing. Give me the Eagles. The Eagles' talent across the board, what Saquon's been able to do for that offense, taking the pressure off of Jalen Hurts, where Jalen Hurts obviously has to perform and do the things that he needs to do, but he doesn't have to be the superhero. He doesn't have to be the guy with a guy like Saquon there. And even if Jalen Hurts does have to be that guy, he's got guys like Devontae Smith. He's got A.J. Brown. He's got playmakers all around him that are going to take care of him. He's got arguably the best offensive line in the NFL, protecting him and doing what he needs to do to open up running lanes. So their defense, like we just touched on, across the board, they're stacked. Zach Bond, Jalen Carter, Quinion Mitchell, they got all the pieces that they need, where Kansas City, you can nitpick different pieces of, Travis Kelce might have fallen off a little bit. He's not what he once was. They got an aging Kareem Hunt. Patrick Mahomes has not looked like himself the last couple of years, even though they've won Super Bowls. Their defense, I can tell you, Chris Jones, Nick Bolton. I can't really name a ton of other guys because they collectively they play great as a unit, but there's not really massive superstars. On a neutral field, Philly is winning this game. That being said, I'm sorry, Reed, if I'm going with my actual gut feeling of what's going to happen in this game.
I hear you.
I'm thinking that Roger Goodell likes the money. The owners want to see the three-peat. They want to make sure the Kansas City Chiefs are taken care of.
Kelce proposing on the field after the game to Taylor Swift. I mean, come on.
You took the words out of my mouth.
That's not going to happen.
That's going to if the Chiefs win this game, you will see a proposal, and I will throw up everywhere, all over myself.
Me as well.
And I will want to turn my TV off and kick all my buddies out of my house for my Super Bowl party, and it's just going to be misery and awful 8 months until we get to the next season. I'm telling you,
I would love it. I think that would be great.
No.
Hey, I've got a 15-year-old girl who would think that was awesome.
No.
Hey,
she can enjoy it.
I had to go to the Taylor Swift movie, and I had to dress up for it. My daughter dressed me up in a sash and a bedazzled shirt.
Picture of that, Brian.
And I will. And I had an amazing time. It was great. It spoiled concerts for me because, I want to go to the movie theater to watch concerts from now on. I don't have a problem with the whole Tay-Tay thing. I think Travis is a wang, but more power to him. The Kelce brothers have figured it out. If I've got to take a Kansas City Chief and his brother, I'd rather take Kelce and Kelce than Mahomes and Mahomes.
That's
Yes,
that's
that
fair.
is very true.
I won't argue with you
I'll
on that
second
one.
that.
All right, Reed, let's be objective here.
It's impossible for me not to. I mean, neutral field, no refs, nitty gritty football. We see how physically gifted and nasty this Birds team is. No refs. I don't think this is a question. I'm with Hogan here with the Birds. I mean, that's my biggest concern, right? It sounds like loser talk, but I mean, you just can't help but watch these runs in the past few years. And I even gave the Chiefs credit in our last recap that I thought that the refs didn't win them the game. It helped them win them the game, but they didn't win them the game. The Bills had a chance to go down the field. But again, it's hard not to push that out of the back of your mind. And last year, very similar situation. The Niners were dominant defense. They were playing out of their mind. All pros all over the team. And, that was when I was objective and I said, you got to take Mahomes every day of the week. So I don't blame Hogan. I don't blame the public at all for riding Mahomes here, but I'm taking Jay Hurts 1 of 1. I'm taking the boys in green. And I just can't wait for this game. And I really think we are going to get it done.
Who am I going to mirror here? I think I'm going to surprise you. I think the Eagles are the best team in this game. I think the more storied team is the Kansas City Chiefs. And everything that Hogan talked about and everything Reed talked about is 100% valid and true. But when I think about this, I think of all of the talk we've had on referees and everything and all this. I think that goes out the window, and I think they find a way to let this be a clean game. But the Eagles, to win this game, they have to play 4 strong quarters and not make the mistakes that they made 2 years ago. I think they have grown. I think Jalen Hurts is one of those guys that has been counted out forever. It's been Jalen Hurts, but. And and there's no more buts. Jalen Hurts, I think that this is his game to be MVP. This is not Saquon Barkley's game to be MVP. He very well could and should be MVP. But if they're to win it, Jalen Hurts is going to have to be magical, and he's going to be perfect. And he looked like he was perfect 2 years ago in that first half, but it all fell apart. And Nick Bolton was a big reason for that as well. But for them to go ahead and win this game, they're going to need some magic, and I think there's a swerve in the making here. And I think when the NFL looks at this as a whole, I think they would be just fine with the Eagles winning it. I'm going to say the Eagles pull off. I can't believe I'm saying upset, but it's an upset because there's a lot going against them. Okay, just because of that, I think I'm going to change that. All right, gentlemen, we're going to take a break and we're going to have some fun in the second half. You guys have no idea what to expect here. I'm going to take over and we're going to do something called Super Bowl etiquette. And I'm going to see if you have run into these people at your Super Bowl parties. So it's what to do and what not to do, especially when you go to a Super Bowl party. Stick around. This is the Fans First Sports Network, the Fans First Football Show, bi-week edition. Back. This is the Fans First Football Show. My name is Brian Anthony Davis from the Fans First Sports Network. I am here with Hogan from Foxborough Frenzy. I am here with Reed from Broad Street LinkedIn, and he's like, he's his hat. So I know you're an Eagles fan, Reed. You don't have to tell me that. Conspicuous by his absence is our good friend Jess Place, who is still partying after what he thought was the real Super Bowl, the Colorado Avalanche beating the Philadelphia Flyers yesterday. So that's the game he wants to talk about. I am here as well. My name is Brian Davis from the Steel Curtain Network, and something that I have done for a lot of fun over the years has been my Super Bowl etiquette article. And I want to bring it up to you because, first and foremost, gentlemen, I love this day. I don't care if it's a team that I root against in the Patriots. I don't care if it's a team that I root for in the Steelers. I don't care if it's the Eagles or the Chiefs. I just love this is my national holiday. And I have a feeling you guys feel the same. Reed, how many Super Bowls do you think you cognizantly watched over the years?
Cognizantly, I'd probably have to say 17. I would say 17.
Okay.
I think my earliest memories were like 2007. So that's
Hogan.
what I'm going with.
Cognizantly.
I'm going back to 96 when the Patriots got their booty stomped by Reggie White and the Green Bay Packers. And since then, I've been watching every single one. So I've seen all of them.
Okay, I'm going back to 1978. So I'm talking
right.
46 Super Bowls. Gentlemen, this is going to be Super Bowl number 47 for me. And cognizantly, so Super Bowl 13 was my very first one. And the Steelers were in it and taking on the Dallas Cowboys in Miami, Florida. So this is something that every year I just enjoy like crazy. But then you get invited to Super Bowl parties. I'm sure you guys have had Super Bowl parties where you've wanted to kill a person that you never knew. Not kill, but you wish you weren't there and you wish they weren't.
Kill's a valid word.
Okay. I'm going to talk to Hogan. Hogan, you've had a lot of Patriots Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like to do for a Patriots Super Bowl versus a regular Super Bowl? Is there any difference?
Oh yeah, I go. So for those of you out there who know the comedian Bill Burr, I go all out Bill Burr on everybody. Where it's when the game's on, you don't talk, and we watch and we celebrate and we boo and we do what we need to do. And then when the commercial's on, we don't care about the commercials. I know everybody else watches the commercials because it's like, oh, we got to see what happened. No. You yap, you go to the bathroom, you do whatever you got to do during the commercials, like you're supposed to, like a normal freaking human being. We don't care. You can go watch commercials on YouTube afterwards. You watch the game.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, okay.
The accent's coming out.
I gotta go full Bill Burr with this. Okay, it's not. That's how we do it with New England Patriots and Boston around here. Okay, you have to do it like that. Any other team in the Super Bowl? Yap during the game. I'm going to probably be yapping the most during this game coming up because it's just like, you know what, as long as the Eagles are winning, it's like, that's what I want to see. And then we can enjoy the commercials. And that's how it works. So that's me in a nutshell with Patriots Super Bowls. But I tell you what was it? The Patriots Atlanta Super Bowl when we were down 28-3, if there was one person who was trying not to remember that night, it was me until the Patriots started coming back. And thank God I did not drink enough to knock myself out for that one.
Reed, so you have witnessed 2 Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Did he? No, you were too young for that one against the Patriots.
No, sadly. I mean, actually, probably it's a good thing I don't remember 04. I know all about it. McNabb.
Donovan McNabb throws up.
Throwing up in the huddle. Come on, buddy. But, yeah, so I don't even know if you guys know this about me. This is actually a pretty crazy fact, but I was in Minneapolis, Super Bowl 52. When the Eagles won. So I was at that game. So my first Super Bowl party, per se, was actually I was not at a party. I was at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. So me and my dad were there. It was awesome. And then going back to 2022, it's funny. I was down in Virginia, but drove all the way back up to Philly just to watch the game. And very similar to Hogan, there was a whole party going on downstairs at Temple. But I was upstairs in my buddy's room with him and one other friend, and we were just locked in on the game. No outside distractions, no yapping. This Super Bowl, I will be in the city as well. It's just hard to even get through to me. I'm just gonna be staring at the screen, so locked in. It's funny. I was actually in Chicago for the Rams Eagles game and was there with some Philly guys, but everyone else who wasn't Philly was like, "Is that guy okay?" Like he's staring like right at the TV. I didn't talk to anyone the entire time, but yeah, I would imagine I'm the same as Hogan, but even more so in the fact that even when it's not the Eagles, I just like, sorry, mom. I know she's gonna listen to this, but when people are just asking questions like it's the first football game they're watching of the year and it's the damn Super Bowl, it just drives me crazy. I'm just like, please be quiet and let me watch this game.
Leave mom
But
alone.
I know, I'm sorry, mom. You know I love you, but yeah, that's I'm the same as Hogan, but almost one where even if it's not my team, it's just the questions and it just bothers me sometimes. I just want to, enjoy. I would probably love watching it with you guys, honestly. So.
Yeah. So, because I have a role in stadium, wherever anybody's allowed in my house, you just can't piss on my couch. And so that's my in stadium role. There's etiquette. But when it comes to a Steelers Super Bowl, I've the first one that as an adult was Super Bowl 30. And I stayed in my apartment by myself. I was invited to like a seafood fest at one party, but it was at a Cowboys house and I refused to go. And then I was at another one with invited to another one with amateurs. So I got my parents visited that weekend and they brought me some food from Western Pennsylvania and they left to go home to watch the game. And I sat there and I ate by myself and watched the game by myself and cheered by myself. And I loved it because I did not want to be around any shenanigans.
Nope.
Now, the last three Super Bowls, it was Steeler fans only invited to our house. And we watched those games together, but it was Steeler fans only. Every other Super Bowl, there's people from all walks of life at my house, and I have no problem with it because the Steelers aren't in it. But there's still those people at the parties that they gotta annoy you. Hogan talked about the ones that annoy you. Reed, you talked about questions. So I'm gonna bring up a list, and I want you guys to tell me if I'm off base on this. So, look, when it comes to a Super Bowl, there's so many great moments. I remember every Bradshaw bomb, every Montana rally, every Manning miracle, Brady drive, an Emmitt Smith scamper, a Holmes touchdown. I remember all of those. I can also tell you some tales of Jack Squires' pick six in Super Bowl 18, Tim Crumrye's dangling ankle in Super Bowl 23, Eugene Robinson's hooker before the Broncos-Falcons Super Bowl. Yeah, he got a hooker, and that screwed everything up for like the NFL Man of the Year. David Tyree's helmet hallelujah, Timmy Smith's big day, and of course, the Philly special. But I think about this, guys. I know this woman that considered herself like the ultimate clubber. And she always talked about New Year's Eve. I said to her one year, "What are you doing for New Year's Eve?" She goes, "No, that's amateur night. I don't go out on New Year's Eve." She's in the club every other night, but not on amateur night. Just like I consider Valentine's Day amateur night because, look, I'm going to buy my wife flowers and candy on March 23rd. That's not our anniversary. It's just it's a day, I mean, I don't need Hallmark to tell me that I love my wife. I don't want my wife to know that either. I consider that amateur night. The Super Bowl brings out amateurs, and we know that, and it drives us crazy. So these are some of the people and some of the things that drive us crazy. What do you guys think about uncoordinated food at Super Bowl parties?
I'm a little bit confused at the question. Uncoordinated food.
Okay, if you're going to a Super Bowl party, guys, find out what other people are bringing. We don't need 4
Oh,
crockpots of
I
little
see what you're
smokies.
saying.
We don't need some weird dip that Guy Fieri dreamed up on a Coke binge. We also, this drives me crazy. Buying a bag of Tostitos and tossing it on the counter. Come on, show some respect for the game.
Yeah. I've never had to host. I'm a little bit on the younger side, so maybe that's why I'm not familiar. I can see why that would be very frustrating, though.
Hogan, what do you think? Am I right? Have you seen
Oh,
this?
Oh, yeah, you're spot on. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I've hosted, and I usually divvy up responsibilities between who's coming and everything. And it's like, I'm usually the booze guy, so I got everybody handled with what the important
The
part
booze
is.
guy.
I got that going. So the food is like, you got I'm the director, and everybody else got you get delegating. You got to make sure everybody gets wings, pizza, whatever you guys got, and make sure it's there. And if it's not, it's all hands on deck. We got to figure out what we're doing because every restaurant and place is going to be bombed on Sunday when everybody's trying to get their crap. So it's like, yeah, you need to make sure you got it planned ahead of time. And as a matter of fact, I already got my buddies on speed dial, so they know what they have to bring this year. So we're all set.
I want to go to the Hogan house for a Super Bowl. I think that'd be great. So we're going to continue with food here. What about healthy choices at the Super Bowl? That pisses me off, Hogan.
No. There's if you're a rabbit, go outside and eat grass. There's healthy for you, okay? That's no vegetables. Get out of here with your veggie dip. No, none of that. It's grease, it's wings, it's pizza, it's stuff in your face. It's the last football Sunday of the year until the next year starts. Get out of here with your rabbit food. No.
There's tomato sauce on pizza. That's a vegetable, right?
Reed, you're not invited. Get out.
well, it's technically a fruit, but yeah, okay.
Oh, there you go.
Look, tofurkey and 3-bean salads have no place on my pigskin table. Look, I know my colon needs cleansing, but we'll talk about that later. It's the Super Bowl. You need a 7-layer dip, helps clear out the room at the night's end. That's what I'm talking about.
That's right.
Oh, that's good.
How about those that critique everything? You hate the halftime show. The broadcast team cannot pronounce Frank Karlaftis. The game isn't played the way it was in the pure form in 1972.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes' hair is too crazy. Joe Burrow's hands are way too small. You don't like the spot, the camera angle, or the cleats. You hate that Taylor Swift is shown 17 times when she's only shown 3. I get it, but you have to list every gripe on social media. You do not. Stop it. Stop critiquing this game.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, it's like Hogan said, it's the last damn game of the year. You're gonna be crying in about 2 weeks when you can't watch the Titans Jaguars on Thursday Night Football. I mean, just soak it in, enjoy it. It's a spectacle. It's the biggest game of the year, and I understand if you can get upset here and there, but like you said, Brian, every little thing. Come on,
Hogan, this is right up your alley. I only watch it for the commercials, guy.
Get out. Just get out. There's no room for you. Just get out. Don't even show up. Don't drop the food off and go home. That's the way I would say if you're coming to my place for that. Look, are there good commercials? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, we're watching the Super Bowl for the Super Bowl. Commercials can be watched. I mean, at this point, they release the commercials like 2 weeks ahead of time. I mean, I know you can go and watch like half of them that are going to be on there right now. So it takes away the mystique of it. So who cares anymore? And plus, they're not good commercials anymore. What happened? Like I said, the classics, like the Budweiser, like what is it, Izzy, the iguanas, and you got like the Bud Light or the What's Up guys. Come on,
Alex the dog. Back. Remember Alex the dog?
That's right. That's right.
Stealing another Bill Burr reference from Hogan. He says there's those people that during the game, it's yeah. They're yapping all game. As soon as the commercial on, guys, be quiet. The commercials are on. Those are the worst people.
Straight out, just get out. Okay, do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Get out.
Look, I love my dad more than anything. He's one of my best friends. And my buddy Darren. They actually critique the advertisements like they're the ones on the Clio committee. If you don't know what the Clios are, that's an award for commercials. Then there are the media outlets that rank them. Look, this is not what the game was created for when it was conceived in 1966. If you tell me that, well, I'm only here for the commercials. Grab your bucket of wings, like Hogan said, apologize to the fan to whom you said it, and just go home. It's as offensive as a thong at a funeral. I'll say it again, offensive. Just don't do it.
I gotta say, if there's one commercial that I appreciated more than any other, I think it was back. It might have been in the 2008 Super Bowl with Pittsburgh and Arizona, where my buddy in college, we were talking, and it was how much the Super Bowl commercials cost. I know they're up to like something crazy, like $8 million or something like that. And it's like, oh, it's like $10,000 for a second or something. And I think it was Miller High Life did a commercial where they had like the delivery guy just come on and go High Life for a second. And that was the commercial, and that was it. And I was like, that's genius, because to this day, I remember that commercial. I remember that one above any other one.
It's funny you say that, Hogan. The one that I thought you were going to go with is, it was after 2008. It was, I couldn't tell you the date or the cost, but it was literally just a monkey dancing with a banana and one guy. And then it said, this just cost us like $6 million or whatever to run. What are you doing with your money? It wasn't even for a company. It was a random guy who just bought it and put a monkey dancing with a banana. I'll never forget that commercial. It was so funny.
Well, of course, for me, it's Joe Green and the Coca-Cola Kid.
Yes.
I mean, that's the greatest. But there was one in 2010, and I can't find this anywhere. It was just a promo for the NFL, and they took the theme from Dallas, and they showed sitcoms and TV shows, classic sitcoms and TV shows, but had them cheering for their teams. Like it was interesting. Like the Office cast had like Steeler stuff, and it was just regular clips from their show, but they superimposed Steeler paraphernalia there. They had the Cunningham house at for Happy Days with Green Bay stuff. They had, I mean, so many different cheers. We're watching the Patriots, you know. I mean,
I would hope so.
It was so cool, and I have only seen that once, and I can't find that commercial again. And it was my favorite commercial. But then right after it, Rashard Mendenhall fumbles, and the comeback was averted. So it was right between the third and fourth quarters. So I gotta go find that. If you have a copy of Super Bowl 45. Just send me that spot. I don't want to watch that game again. But you know, but anyways, that we just talked about the commercial people. Now we just proclaim which ones we love.
I know that was such hypocritical.
One more thing. Let's go back to food real quick. Showing off your Super Bowl meal on social media. That's like the people that show their Christmas tree on Christmas Eve with all the gifts around it. I don't want to see it.
Everyone's doing it. Come on. You're not special.
I don't send out pics of the Maruchan ramen noodles that I'm prepping for my big day. You know? Okay. This pisses me off more than anything. And if you know me, I love dogs. I love dogs. I mean, are you a dog guy, Reed?
I've never had one myself, but I like playing with them.
There's nothing like a canine companion. Hogan, you have dogs?
Of course I do. Yep. My buddy Mav.
I love dogs. I used to have, believe it or not, they since passed away, but my first two dogs were dachshunds. My first as adults, Heinz Ward Davis and Palomalu Doodle Davis. Palomalu was the girl, and we called her Polly. But yeah, now the dogs are named after Harry Potter characters, but I wasn't allowed to name the last batch. But with that being said, I love dogs. But the puppy bowl, stop it. I'm still pissed off about Thanksgiving, ruining my Detroit Lions watching, because that's always the first game. And then my mom wants to put on the dog show. Now they have the puppy bowl. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't want to see. I love dachshunds, but I don't want to see a dachshund running towards the end zone for some kibble. You know, that's not the day for it. Go away with the puppy bowl.
I mean, in fairness, I kind of wouldn't mind watching the Puppy Bowl over the third time the Chiefs are going to be yapping about how special the Super Bowl is for them. So yeah, I'll take dogs. It's okay.
I'm going to be honest. I've never watched the Puppy Bowl in my life. So I don't even know. I don't even know what goes on there.
Okay, we're going to talk about these ones quick. The person who never watches sports but complains that athletes get paid too much.
Oh my God. If you think it's so easy to just throw a ball around, then you go beat Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts. Okay, that's all I have to say. It's the most ridiculous take I've ever heard.
Hogan, are you like me when the red zones are rocking? Don't come a squawking.
Yeah, 100%. It's shenanigans. It's another one of those people that just get out. Don't just go. No, nobody wants to talk to you if you're going to be that person.
Talking about real life person. Look, I don't care that schools won't put litter boxes in restrooms because your son identifies as a Siamese cat. I don't care that Uncle Stan lost his spleen, that your wife left you for the barista at Starbucks with a man bun, and that Jim from accounting just stole your promotion. That really sucks. But look, we're talking the Super Bowl. Leave that at home. All right?
Yeah, there's no personal issues that need to be addressed during the biggest football game of the year. You can save that for a Tuesday night when your board is held to talk about that. So save all that stuff for a different day, different time. Time and place. Super Bowl is not the right time and place.
Yeah, does that bug you, Hogan? Or am I off base?
Oh, no. It's one of those things where absolutely you don't bring up crap that nobody wants to talk about during the game or whatever. Like I said, it's one of those things that you're there for the sports. And if there's any side talking, it's about gambling or bets or anything else like that, or checking your Super Bowl squares. That's as personal as I want to get. And if you're not close to hitting, I don't want to hear about it. So just shut up. That's the way I look at it.
We're going to talk about Super Bowl squares right now, actually. It's putting your kid's name on the gambling square and the kid wins guy. I hate that. There's always that couple who puts Cody's name on the square and that little effer wins 3 quarters in a row while you pray that your Ford Festiva gets you home to heat up some ramen for your work thermos. You know, that just drives me crazy.
That's when you remind them who actually bought the squares. And it's like, well, at that point, it's really my money. So it's not a big deal, but still, I get it. Yeah, it's definitely whenever you see the squares and you see who hits, you want to make sure it's somebody that's actually worthy of hitting them. That's the way I look at it.
The amateur color commentary. Also, I should probably mention that the Cliff Clavin in the room or on Twitter that brings up little known facts and stupid bits of trivia that nobody cares about. No, wait a second. No, that guy's okay because that's me, I think. So, forget that guy. That guy's cool. I am that guy. I'm the one who wants to say that, oh, he's close to the record.
Saquon, 29 yards away from the all-time record.
Yeah, see, I like to do that. I like, as soon as Willie Parker busted off that 75-yarder in Super Bowl 40, it was me going, that's a record, because the previous one was 73 yards, Marcus Allen in 1984. You know, I'm just like going crazy, and they're like, we don't care about who's close to a record, Brian. And I'm like, oh, okay, that is me. I'm probably the guy that people complain about, but they don't have a show. I do. So lusting after linebackers and so on. Look, I get it. I know that Jalen Carter looks yummy in those tight white pants, but I don't need to hear about it or his tight end. And I'm not talking about Mr. Goddard here. So if you think a linebacker is sexy, I don't want to hear it during the game.
Well, no. I was going to say, you're talking about linebackers and lusting after them. I thought that was going to be a shot at Reed and Zach Bond. I mean, you set yourself up perfectly for that. Come on.
My glorious king, Zach.
It was too easy.
So real quick, Brian, I don't know if you know this, on Instagram, there's a Zach Bond lovers fan club account that Reed likes to send clips of once in a while.
It's so Hogan thought it was me, but you guys should check him out. He's honestly great. I've DM'd him. He's a great dude. His Instagram handle is Zach Bond Worshipper. And he just posts Zach Bond content. He's the man. You guys should check him out on
He sent me a
Instagram.
clip, and I told Reed, I said, if you have a secret account where you worship Zach Bond, you don't have to hide behind the screen name. Just tell me it's okay.
I wish.
We see that Eagles flag in the background. I'd like to go to his bedroom right now just to see, because I have a feeling there's a life-size cutout of the Titanic of DiCaprio and Kate Winslet, but instead it's Zach Bond and Aiden Reed's
holding
faces
me.
on it. It's like, I'm king of the world.
Oh, we better resign him. I'm gonna be sad if we don't.
Oh, he's gonna cost you, my friend.
He's gonna cost us.
Okay, so this is a valid one, but I hate it. I hate it. It's the school night exodus
Oh,
at halftime. I know little Rory and Chloe have school the next day, but the game is over around 10ish. They can stay up, can't they? It's one night out of the year. Don't make dad go home early because they need to be up early for the bus. It's a better learning environment to experience the social experiment that is the Super Bowl. Plus, there's plenty of life lessons in maneuvering after a late night. They got to learn that. Look at what happens to Reed after a game. If they need that extra hour to comprehend Common Core math, then an academic scholarship isn't in their wheelhouse anyways.
That's funny.
They can probably benefit more by having a better social game. That's how I got through college. Even if you're staying home this year, let them stay up a little longer and watch. Plus, you know that they're just sneaking a device under the covers and watching Outer Banks for the 80th time on Netflix.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I remember this was for like Phillies games where there's like 160 a year. I would be begging my mom to stay up. My dad always had my back, so thankfully my dad was not one of the people who didn't let me stay out late for games. So shout out, Pops.
I see. For me, it's like everybody leaves my house, and I'm like, what the hell? And I'm not leaving their house. I'm watching the entire game.
Yep.
I think that these kids are better off by experiencing everything. I really do. The final thing, it's Nostradamus. Look, after a huge play or big gaffe, nobody wants to hear, I told you that was going to happen. I knew it. They also don't want to hear your Tony Romo impression and predict the next play. Hell, I don't want to hear Tony Romo do it. Thank God this game's on Fox.
Oh, yeah. No Romo. Thank Christ.
Yeah, but it's Tom Brady.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. I saw that. You have that look on your face.
Look, as much as I love Brady for everything he did for the Patriots, I can't stand him as an announcer. He is brutal to listen to. He is the whiniest voice. And honestly, I prefer Greg Olsen any day of the week over Brady. I thought Olsen was phenomenal, and the fact that they just gave it to Brady because it's like, oh, he's the greatest of all time. It's like, yeah, he was on the football field with a microphone.
It's better than, ooh, I don't know about that one, Jim.
There's
a late flag there.
Yeah, either that or Chris. I was gonna say Chris Collinsworth. Here's a guy.
Oh, Collinsworth. Here's a guy.
I'm a Collinsworth guy, but after last week's show and me praising him and what Jess sent me, I cannot unsee.
We warned you. I told you it wasn't a good look.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't. I like listening to the guy. I actually really do. And most Steeler fans hate him because he was a Cincinnati Bengal. So with that being said, that is my Super Bowl etiquette guide. The only thing that I do, like I said, I am your Cliff Clavin at the games. And I know people don't like that know-it-all, but everything else, you can avoid party disaster. So that's my guide. And look, you guys are my buddies. Well, Reed, I don't know what you're going to be doing during that Super Bowl. That's going to be crazy. But Hogan, I'm going to give you free reign to spout all that stuff off during your Super Bowl and have roles. There you go.
That's right.
And take credit for it on your own. Don't give me credit for it. All right, fellas. This has been a fun time. This was supposed to be a half-hour show, but we had a good time talking about the game and talking about the fun stuff that goes with the Super Bowl. Hey, look, even if those people were at your party, It's great because it's the Super Bowl. I have one last question for you. Now, this is an interesting one because we talked about Rory and Chloe having to go home and the Exodus and all of that. But are you one of those that say throw away tradition and move this game to Saturday night?
I wouldn't. You know what I think? I think I've said this on the show before. Extend the game to 18 weeks, 2 buys, so that players are happy as well. And then this no bye week before the Super Bowl, just 1 week, like consistent right from conference championship to Super Bowl. Then President's Day would be the day after Super Bowl Sunday, and everyone would have off anyway. That is my solution to this problem.
Elect Reed.
I was gonna say he took the words out of my mouth. I mean, if they decide that it goes on Saturday, I'm not gonna complain. Will it kind of take away from the tradition a little bit? But at the same time, it's so much sweeter having the day off after the Super Bowl is the way I look at it. And I mean, if you got sick days, burn them. If you got vacation days, use them. That's the way I look at it.
That's an interesting question. I can't believe because I'm such a traditionalist, but I would actually love to see it on a Saturday night. But then when it happened, it would probably kill me.
Yeah.
So, but I just don't like the fact that that everybody's got to leave. Stay up, have fun, stay there. I want a full house at the end of the game. So I am going to leave you with this. It is Super Bowl. They only come around once a year. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. Because you're not going to have another one for another year. But as soon as that game's over, your team is 0-0, and they are not mathematically eliminated, especially your team, Hogan.
I was gonna say, don't count your chickens. I think we might already be out. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, he is from New England, friends. He's pessimistic as all get out. All right. With that being said, Jess Place wasn't here. We'll talk to him again soon. As far as everything goes, Reed, be safe. I'm talking like your dad here, but be safe. Have a good time. Don't punch out a horse. Don't get too drunk that you remember the game. That you forget the game. Don't climb up a pole. Don't burn any cars when your team wins. Okay?
Nope. It'll be a peaceful celebration.
All right.
I speak for myself, not the city.
I was going to say, yeah, you might have needed an addendum there for that one.
All right. Hogan, have fun at your party. Enjoy it. You and Maverick have a good time watching the game. And hey, send me your address. I might just show up.
Hey, as long as you don't talk during the game and yap during the commercials, it's fine by me.
Well, wait a second. The Patriots aren't in it. I'm allowed to talk.
All right. That's fine.
All right. For Hogan, for Reed, my name is Brian Anthony Davis. This is the Fans First Sports Network, the Fans First Football Show. We had a lot of fun. We do this every single week. We're going to find a way to do this in the offseason too, in some way, shape, or form. But until then, we've got one thing to say to you before Super Bowl 59. And it's simple. It's this. Go football.
Go football.
Never slow.